Hey, Nathan, what's up?
Yay.
Yeah. The bullshit videos, we want to get a batch of them done before we start releasing them so that they could start coming out on some kind of consistent basis. So, yeah, I mean, you just want to roll it?
Yeah, I guess we'll roll the first video.
All right. You know what's bullshit? There hasn't been any You Know It's Bullshit episodes in a long time, but that's only because of an already packed video schedule of all these different Cinemassacre shows. So I had a meeting, sat down and talked with the Screenwave people. We worked out a new plan, a new schedule to get You Know It's Bullshit episodes released bi-monthly. That's right, bi-monthly. But as the meeting went on, there was some confusion. Half the room thought bi-monthly meant every 2 months. The other half thought it meant twice a month. So we looked it up. According to Merriam-Webster.com, bi-monthly has two definitions: occurring every 2 months or occurring twice a month. What the fuck? To confirm, we looked at OxfordDictionaries.com, which says occurring or produced twice a month or every 2 months. In other words, it means whatever you want it to mean. Bi-monthly is a completely useless word. To say it, you would have to assume the person you're talking to knows which of the two conflicting meanings you intend, and the same problem happens with the word bi-weekly. How did such a blunder fall into common English language, which already has tons of problems? See my episode on word pronunciations.
Yeah, I'm glad we can have our editor type say like, hey,
Yeah,
can you send us this
exactly,
tonight? You know.
Yeah, I just want to touch base on them again real soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the rest. Yeah, that's looking great. Yeah.
So there's that one, and I think
So if he's hearing this, good job.
yeah, our friend Chris Pavlu helped edit that one, which is great because he does all the motion graphics and stuff. Because we're awful artists, so I'm glad someone could take care of that.
Yeah, and he's a good voice guy too, right?
Yeah, he does like Kermit, and he used to be Jack Sparrow at Disneyland.
Oh, okay. In the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
He's also extremely attractive. Yes.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, thanks to Chris for that. But yeah, so we're adding a bunch more right now. So there should be, I don't know, like it might be monthly next year. We're not sure.
Yeah,
yet.
we don't know yet, but we're working on them. So yeah, it'll be coming back.
Does anyone have any episodes they want to see for You Know It's Bullshit? Yes, in the back. Oh, so pin number because it's
yeah,
right. It's kind of like we talk about in one of the AVGNs. It's DC Comics is Detective Comics.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of that stuff kind of happens with acronyms.
Yeah, CG graphics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. I guess we do have a microphone. So.
Oh yeah.
So if anyone has a suggestion for
game updates.
Game update. Oh, that's a good one. It's like software updates, everything like that. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them. Have there been many gaming? You know what's bullshit? They're usually not. Usually like daily annoyances.
Guess that's what the nerd does all the time. So I don't know. The nerd is just the extended bullshit of gaming. But that's interesting. Yeah.
And any other questions about that? I guess.
Or about like the production of these episodes or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just like with the You Know What's Bullshit episode about special editions and ultimate editions, I think it would be great to have it like a gamer's edition, like with all the DLC included and everything, like Game of the Year edition, ultimate editions, DLC included edition.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's tough because now you have a lot of game companies where you just buy like a season pass or whatever, but with loot boxes and with like Blizzard and all that stuff getting sued for things like that, they're kind of cutting down on it, but...
Sue for what?
They're cutting down on like loot boxes and just like gambling in games and stuff. And now you're not seeing many editions of stuff. The last edition I bought was the deluxe of Anthem. Only played an hour of that. So, any more before we continue?
When you have your meeting for the episodes, do you sit there and go, okay, guys, we need 10 for this season. We need 10 ideas at the end of this meeting? Or is it like, hey, guys, we want to do this. Let's see how many we can come up with, or should we come up with more? Like, do you come in meetings with the objectives, or is it just let's see what comes up?
Oh, as far as the number goes, yeah, I mean, we do start with like a number we'd like to do in the year, but then we don't really know in the beginning, like, well, how many of these episodes are going to be like The Immortal or something where it's like this insane amount of work. So then it usually, sometimes like if a video becomes really complicated, that takes the time of like 3 episodes or something. So the number usually shrinks. It's hard to predict, but we usually, it just starts with the games. Like we do start with like a number, like, hey, we think we could do like 1 a month or whatever, and then everybody kind of puts into the list of like just in this pool of games. Like a lot of times it'll start with somebody playing it, like Mike, a lot of times, bring a game, or Tony played a game and he's like, hey, this one's really bad, you should check it out, and then we kind of just have a list of games that we want to try out. Yeah. And like this next one that we're going to show an episode where it was like Tony's research, where he happened to know this episode is based on a comic character, and he knew a lot about the background of the character and stuff, so he did a lot of the research. Like he did a lot of the research in like Superman before, and the Superman episode recently, stuff like that.
Yeah, but we have a huge list of like, I don't know, 400 games or something, or systems or whatever, and we just pare it down, or we add new stuff all the time, especially because Mike with his live streaming and be like, hey, remember this? Hey, well, I'm playing this now. You should try this, and then that's when it goes into like James and writing. And
a lot of times Mike will do on like a Monday or something, like a lot of times there's almost like a filtering. We have like a very interesting filtering process now, where a lot of times Mike live streams all these games, and while he's doing that, he's kind of auditioning games that that maybe I should try out. So sometimes it goes from his live streams to the James and Mike Mondays, where he might bring a game, show me one of them, be like, hey, I was playing this game the other day, you should check this one out, look at how bad this one is or something. And then it might go then to the list of like AVGN contenders. So it kind of has a bunch of tiers. It has to pass each like test until it becomes a nerd episode.
A good example of that's Life of Black Tiger, because they played that a few years before or a year before on James Like Monday, and then it's like, hey, let's use that for something, and it's like, well, we have Gilbert, what episode should we put him in?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, how about that one, Because originally he was going to be in something else. Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to have him be Iago in Aladdin. Yeah. And we thought about having him in Superman, or Tony did, Superman Revisited, because he's Mr. Mixoplex in the cartoon show. But we're like, oh, people won't get it, and we also don't want to get sued by Detective Comics. Detective Comics, there you go. Or whoever else. So so that's how one of those worked.
Yeah.
But with that said, I guess you want to play the new nerd episode?
Sure, let's play it. You up for a new nerd episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
this might not be totally finished, by the way.
Oh, it's super not totally finished.
Okay.
But so if it's a little rough.
Is it newer since I last seen it?
Yeah,
okay.
Tony's been working on it. So if there's any missing music or anything sounds awful, it's Tony's fault.
Oh, okay.
Because he's working on it while we're all here on vacation panel thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you see anything that's that week that's worth changing, this would be the time. Let's have this be like a little like
you
a
guys
work
are helping.
Like a workplace focus group. Yeah. Can you centrifugally focus, man? Okay.
I also, by the way, there's a TV here. We're looking at this TV. We're not just staring. At your legs.
Well, now I understand, because you ever go to a panel and like you see that Comic-Con panel with like the A-list celebrities, whatever, and they're always looking to the side. Now I understand. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah,
because
we don't have to be like.
Yeah, it looks like we're ashamed of it. Like
Yeah.
Easy angry video game nerd.
What? Where am I?
Mellow greetings, nerdy wordy.
What the hell?
Oh, hell is right. Sorry to break it to you, nerd, but you're dead. You're fucked. F-U-K-T. Fucked.
Okay, I get it. The dragon in Immortal got me. Mm-hmm. But why am I dressed so badass?
You are one fashionable male. Let me remind you. When you died, you came face to face with the devil. He decided you have to live out the rest of your eternity inside your most hated game, Jekyll and Hyde. You flipped him off and told him you didn't deserve that torture. So he presented a challenge. If you can beat all the Spawn games, you will be allowed to leave hell. But if you lose, you're stuck in Jekyll and Hyde forever. You accepted and were transformed from the angry video game nerd to the satanic video game spawn. And that leads us to where we are now.
Okay, well, let's play these shitty games.
No, not so fast. We're gonna play them in the most vile, despicable game room ever imagined by a hell. It'll break a man's soul in a second. Ready?
Huh? This is it?
Truly terrifying, right?
I actually spend most of my days in a room exactly like this.
Really?
I mean, it's like spot on. It's the exact same thing.
You even have the shelf of all the ET games?
Yeah. In fact, I think mine actually has a little bit more.
What about the Aladdin Deck Enhancer in all the games?
Yeah. In fact, I actually played that not too long ago.
Internet's really slow in hell. I didn't know that. Here, play your stupid fucking game.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, and I think the rental review that week will be Spawn as well, talk about the movie. So Tony gets thrown through the store and all that kind of stuff in it. So I thought that'd be fun. I guess Q&A about that episode if you want to talk about it or whatever. Right. So yeah, well, I guess we'll bring a mic around.
Yeah, we got one right over here.
Hey, so did you guys consider bringing in Spawn's tie-in with Soul Calibur 2 on the Xbox?
Yeah, like we brought that up, but because Tony helped a lot with this one, and he was like, I don't think we really need to talk about it too much, or maybe we'll like show it in like an earlier montage because it's not done yet. But we figured we just like focus on just the games mentioned and just the history of Spawn, not so much the other tie-ins, because there's a bunch of stuff you could do with Spawn, but
Real quick question about the new potential YouTube restrictions. Are those going to affect you guys in any way?
You're talking about like the COPA Child Online Privacy Protection Act stuff. No, we have a pretty good relationship with YouTube from a network standpoint and with Cinemassacre, and everything on the channel's been rated not for kids and all that kind of stuff. So we probably shouldn't see any bumps for that. I know especially a lot of toy people and stuff are going to have some problems, but the FCC's already been backpedaling. There's only 1,600 employees at the FCC. They're not going to go after YouTuber 1,000,006, But it's going to be a lot. I feel it's going to be a lot like Napster. When they went after, they pinned like 3 people for all the riot stuff, and that was it. Same thing's going to happen here, and hopefully we're not one of the 3.
For what, like music stuff or what?
No, I'm not sure if you've been seeing it, but pretty much Google got sued for like $1.7 million, a fine, I think. Was it that much? It was something like that. Oh, sorry, $170 million. Yeah, it was a lot, yeah. Well, not a lot to Google, but a lot to us. And it was pretty much because for kids content on YouTube, because YouTube takes data, and you're not supposed to be under 13 on the platform, but clearly people are making content for kids. And because they're collecting this data, it goes against the Child Protection Act of the 90s. So Google is a big violation of that. So they're making sure all the channels you have to say if you're making something specifically for kids or not. And if you are, that's going to hurt your ads because all the best ads are targeted ads. So that's the problem. Was that a good summary? It was like, it's something like that.
It sounds like it's Google's mistake that they're trying to correct, right?
It's tough because Google theoretically didn't do anything wrong because you're supposed to be over 13 or over whatever on the platform when you sign up. But parents, YouTube is the new TV, so there has to be some accountability. But I don't think they should pass the buck to the creators.
Oh no, not at all. Especially when we're very much aware we're not producing content for children. Like this is has language. This is an adult thing. It's
Yeah, it's tough because now when you upload, you have to do the self-rating tool to say, is there cursing in this? Yes. Is it that? And all that. So that's why we've been pivoting and doing a lot more brand deals and a lot of different shows and new merch and stuff because we're trying to, just in case that comes down, we can still use it as a platform. So it's awesome.
Are you a big Spawn fan?
Oh, me? I've seen the movie. Like when it came out, I didn't know anything about the comics. Like all that research was Tony.
Yeah. it was definitely not. You're like, what? Why am I playing? What is this?
Yeah, and there's a lot of times it's like there's an episode in between where I don't know very much on the subject, but then the next one I will. Like the episode that comes after this, I was completely all in on the research and the script. So the next one is all me of the writing. So this one, it was a lot of Tony with all the research stuff about Spawn and the comics and all that.
You know what? Like Tony helped out when one he put himself in it, and two he makes me do something horrible. Like I was the clown clearly, so that was horrifying doing the makeup and all the stuff, and still trying to make some of the jokes hit better, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean that makeup was good. Yeah, it was funny when it was like acting with you. It was like I was like, wow, we really nailed that clown character because that's exactly what he's like in the movie.
And then we did the what's funny is the makeup guy Joe Lascola, who he's done a lot of stuff. I think he's done some trauma stuff too or whatever. He's a friend of ours. We're just talking about it, and randomly he just starts doing like a really good Dr. Claw voice, like doing some makeup or whatever. And I'm like, do you want to be Satan in this video?
Because in the movie, it's without even looking at the credits, I'm positive it's Frank Welker doing the voice in the movie of Malbolgia, the devil, whatever. It's Frank Welker. He's done everything. He's done Megatron. He's done Dr. Claw. He's done the Gremlins. It's like he's the voice guy. He's done like almost every kind of voice. Even like the zombies in Walking Dead when they're making sounds, like that's Frank Welker. It's like he's been working for long time. So it was. I don't know if anybody's ever made the connection between like the devil is pretty much the Dr. Claw thing because. I think they even have some of the same lines, and it's like there's a little bit more connection than there needs to be. So we just decided to go further with that. So he says like, I'll get you next time, and
That might be fun for a Dr. Claw's dump and pump with the voice and Satan and stuff. But like bringing back the Satan and having like Rob and Woody Bugs, which might don the costume again, which is funny. He's like here.
Pretty much for like 1 second, he got the mask on again.
Well, he wanted to get it for something else, or I don't know what he's doing. He's always doing something.
Yeah.
But, and we thought it'd be funny to have Rob just sitting there. But those scenes are super not done yet because they need audio, they need things to happen. But and it's again, it's rough.
No, it's looking pretty good. Oh, right here.
He's passing the mic around.
Oh, okay, he'll get to you then. Okay, yeah, you're good.
Hello. So I have a question in regarding of the editing because I've seen the evolution of Cinemassacre from like way back when to now, and I see that the production quality has increased dramatically. And I was wondering like how long does it take to usually edit those special effects in for the newer nerd videos?
Oh yeah, you guys are doing it mostly for the newer ones, like whenever there's effects. So. How long does it take you guys?
Well, easy. I mean, you just take a fireball and turn it green, and it's not too difficult. And the green screening, but Premiere Pro and all that makes it really easy and all that stuff. So it's not too hard. Something like.
But then there's so much of it. It's just time consuming.
We mainly use a lot of the VFX to fix stuff, like rotoscoping out a wall, like Kieran did in Immortal and stuff. That stuff takes a long time.
Yeah.
But we've been trying to get more practical. Again with it, like how like the original nerd episode. So that's why we did like the Amiga episode. We decided, well, we're just gonna set the thing on fire. We even do a joke where like he shoots it with like he does like Hadoukens at it, and it's like no, we got to do it for real. So we've been trying to up it a little bit.
Yeah, it's always good to have that in there. But a lot of times, we use a lot of green screen because that's the easiest way, and that's why a lot of movie studios do it that way too. Like there's certain things it's like okay, well, this is easier, just green screen it. Because otherwise it would slow down production if we're trying to like go on location or something. So we are guilty of green screen the same way that movie studios are, but the only difference is they have a lot more money than us. So,
well, that's also kind of funny because we'll be like, oh, we want to do it more, like oh, we're doing it too digital, let's go more practical, and then we go too practical, and now we're building sets and doing like the Immortal, or we're putting ourselves in makeup chairs for 6 hours for like 20-minute scene, just like. Dumb stuff. So we haven't found like the middle ground yet, but yeah. Thanks.
A guy over here. Oh, here. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thanks, James. I just wanted two things.
Yeah.
I'm Army vet.
Oh,
Your
cool.
videos got me through Afghanistan. I want to thank you for that. That's
Oh, wow. Thanks for your service.
thank you.
Much appreciated. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Second question. I know Mike live streams a lot.
Mhm.
You ever consider live streaming Mike and James Mondays more often, or just live stream on him?
Oh, would I live stream more often with him? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to. We have a few times, but usually we're too busy just playing like the normal things because we gotta record. Every time I meet up with him, we gotta record the episodes for James and Mike Mondays, and there isn't really any extra time on top of that. So we haven't really gotten to do anything live in a long time. Yeah.
We were doing some live streaming on the YouTube channel for a little bit. We did like the Halloween one like a couple years ago and stuff like that, and we thought that was cool. But our friends at YouTube, it's very when you live stream, it like kills old related videos and stuff. So like for 48 hours after you like live stream it, like all the old content, like YouTube doesn't share it out because they think you're like doing live streams now. So we don't really do it on the main channel. We could like set up a Twitch or make something brand new or have it with Mike or whatever. But yeah, but James is saying, but then now because Mike streams every day, 8 hours randomly on and off. So like we don't, we wouldn't be able to like edit or do anything if we were doing that.
Yeah, and I personally just find I would imagine at least that it's not as entertaining to if I were to do it live, because most of the time I'm just going to be sitting there silent, not really saying anything. Like I kind of feel like it's better when Mike and I record together. It's like it's better we record it and then we just cut it down to the funniest parts, and that makes the video more entertaining and quicker. Because I don't imagine as many people would have time. Like if we play a game for like a couple hours, not as many people would have time to watch it if we just cut it down to like 20 minutes of the best stuff, Yeah. So that's the way I like to go. I'm never like a live performance type of guy. Like I'm not like a guy on stage or does like, like live performances of any kind. I'm usually more of like a, work on the project and get it into shape and finish it up and then put it out when it's done. So I'm more of like a movie guy, editing it and and then that's usually how I am. I'm just not much of a live type of guy. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, there's a guy right in the middle here who's got his hand up. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
As far as producing these episodes, how do you go about capturing the video from like you've done like Game Boys and like Virtual Boy and all, how do you capture the gameplay, audio, and all that in order to make it look good on the episodes? And the second question, has there, like, I know some of those games don't have cheat codes to go to the end. Has there ever been a game you guys have played, like E.T. or something like that was just monstrous feat to try to get to the end to capture the gameplay from the bullshit on the end?
I mean, I can think in all the years of doing this, I can think of a lot where it was like that, where it's like I really want to get the ending of this, but it's just like sometimes you're not even sure if it's worth it because you don't know how long it's going to take. You're like I remember Street Fighter 2010, the final boss where you have to fight like 3 bosses on like the same life meter, and there's a time limit, and you have to get all the power ups, or else you don't have enough projectiles for the final boss to get enough hits. And it was like this insane endurance round where I just didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but I kept on trying, and usually it's like you get to a point where you're like, all right, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Let me give it one more try, and then you just happen to get it, and you're like, all right, I got it. It's recorded, good to go, and then I'll never do that again. There's a lot I can think of, but then some of these like as far as recording too, like Game Boy has the Super NES adapter, and like there's different ways you could do it. And then a lot
because we try not to emulate. I think the Game Boy one might have been. I forgot what we did with that because it was a while ago when we did all this. But like at where we are and where James is, I think you have a FrameMeister now, right?
Yeah, I mean now actually the process is going to change for me. I mean this is complicated. It's like there's a lot to get into, but we record game footage in many different locations. Like there's at Screenwave, there's at my place, there's at Mike's. Everybody has their own different types of gear set up, and most times in most of the episodes you've seen up until like the last few years, most of it was recorded at my place. And then sometimes there'd be like a part of the game where it's like, hey Mike, can you record that part of the game for me? Or oh, there's a part where I'm comparing this to Mortal Kombat or something. Can you just get me some clips of Mortal Kombat, specifically these fatalities, because I'm talking about this game and like I want to compare it to that. So a lot of times it'd be like that. But at my place, I'm always recording on the DVDs, and the last episode I think where I'm recording on DVDs is going to be the December episode, which took up like over 20 discs.
25 DVD.
Yeah, like it's like over a 40-hour gameplay that I did. Yeah, but Mike just hooked me up with straight to PC recording. So now I'm just going to go straight into a PC laptop. So he got me all set up with that. So basically, it's like all the games get converted to an HDMI cable, and then they go into a capture device and into a PC. So I'm going to be starting to do that from now on. But also a lot of these clips, like Tony, recording the Spawn games. Like a lot of times, like if it's something where you got to get some footage where I don't have the time to play that part, like I'll be familiar with it, but I just be like, hey, can you get that footage? Like I think Kieran was doing the Pepsi Man one.
Yeah, he did. Because we couldn't beat it. He had to like beat it at the end because we needed like a Japanese PS2 and all this other. So like even Mike, like we were all chopping away at it until we figured it out. Like that's probably the worst one.
And like a Spider-Man 64, the second Spider-Man 64 that we did.
The Superman.
Superman 64. Yeah, it was like a combination of Tony did a lot of it, and then Mike recorded some parts because he got like some glitches. Like some of it, I think, were from his live streams where he recorded some of the glitches. And it's basically just like a combination of playing it, of like, so, yeah, it's a collaboration of gameplay. Sonic was one I remember where, like, because there was 2 parts of Sonic 06. The first one, I think I did all of it, I think. And then that was a while ago, right? Was that before?
Yeah.
But then we did a follow-up, and the follow-up, it was like, okay, guys, this is as far as I got with it. If you think we should show more of the game, like, one of you guys ended up doing the rest of it.
Yeah.
I forget who, but it was one of you guys.
That game's awful too.
Yeah. But lately it's been like, we've been using more modern equipment. A lot of times, like sometimes I'll record stuff at Mike's or at Screenwave or whatever, and now I think I'm going to be phasing out the DVD recording part, so it will all be like straight to PC.
For rental reviews and stuff, which is interesting, I have like this amazing like SVHS professional VHS player that patches S-video into like this up converter thing that's like a DVD recorder, and that goes composite to the FrameMeister, so it's the nicest a VHS tape will ever look. So I've been working on that system too, because we got to capture a bunch of weird stuff, especially for the end of the year. We got some weird videos coming out.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, so again, just a huge fan from Monster Badness to AVGN. I love it all. But my personal favorite is Board James. In terms of the narrative arc, the production quality arc, like you were talking about. It's the first time we see Mike. The comedy, the timing is on point. You can watch it cover to cover because it's only like 30 or so episodes. Any talk about reviving Board James at all?
That's funny. That's one of the most common questions, and is will you bring back Board James? I love getting the question. I love that you love it as much as I, because Board James is my favorite series I think I've done. But it was a planned out story arc that completed. So the last one that I did was the grand finale. Like it all built up to that climax, so it's over. Like that's the ending. And I like to keep it that way because to me, Board James is sacred, where if I were to continue it in some way, I'd want it to top what I did before. And right now, there is no time to do that because that last season I did was like, it took like 6 months to do all that from start to finish, and trying to do like nerd and everything. If I were to do it now, and now with 2 kids and less time, it would be impossible. The only way I can continue Board James in the way that I'd like to continue it, I would have to take a break from the nerd, and that's not happening right now. So, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Right over here, James.
Hey.
Roughly how long between your, I guess, marker border scheduling that you do for a list of games that you want to do videos out of, and to what we see now, how long does it take to produce something like this? And since you said you're not ready to release this as of yet, it's still got a few tweaks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Roughly how long from idea to list of we're going to do and then to release? How long does it take?
Oh, I mean, it depends because they're all so different. Like the Immortal was so different. It was like unlike any the other ones we've done. And that I remember I was more involved with that one because these were being worked on like simultaneously. So like, I think we shot Spawn like sometime while Immortal was being written, and we basically the Immortal was like several months. I think it was like a good 3 months if you count like when it was started, and then when it was like the set was built, and when the script was finalized, and when I started rehearsing it, and then recording the game so that we had the game clips for when we shot it. Yeah, like the Immortal was like most of the summer into like the early fall, I think.
Yeah, because that's the for next year we're gonna get way more ahead of it. So we figure out the games are for the entire next year in December. So we kind of like know and can plan for and you know, do all that stuff. Where sometimes they're kind of last minute, like. Not like Immortal, but like we like okay, we need more time for this one because this one's getting pushed, this one's getting pulled back and stuff like that. So sometimes the order really changes. So
yeah, we usually try to like balance it where like okay, we have a really complicated episode. Let's do a simple one next, and usually our simple one is Spawn, which has green screen and like morph effects.
Well,
and,
like one of
makeup.
I think one of the better simple ones we did was Chex Quest.
Yeah. Still had that whole.
But
like,
that was still hard because
yeah.
you're bleeding out of your mouth.
Yeah,
and
you had to
like,
print the box and get the graphics and like.
Yeah, I made the boxes from scratch.
And there's like multiple games that were like all like. You know.
Yeah, but that episode was supposed to be an episode on it was supposed to be all fast food games, right? Because that's like a writing thing. So we had an episode. It's just fast food games. So you do like Kool-Aid Man, you do Pepsi Man, you do all the Burger King games, and that was gonna be one episode. But then we're like, you know what? That's not as good. Let's just take the good ones out of it. So we've been kind of doing that as well. So that's something.
This video, is it completely scripted, or is there some ad-lib improv in there?
Oh yeah, there's always like a little bit of ad-libbing. I mean, it's a whole script from start to end, but then when you're recording it, every once in a while, there's like a little ad-lib. Like, I mean, the only thing off the top of my head was like, when I was like doing like the shut up, like I just threw that in. And that's from an older episode, but hey, whatever, it's cool to bring it back. And then
most of the clown lines were ad-libbed or, you know.
The fucked part was good. I like that. That was ad-lib, yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be like, hey, say this, and I'll be like, I'm gonna say something completely different. So.
Hello.
Yes, we got time for like a couple left. Yeah. Hey.
Do you ever plan to do a review like you did with Deadly Towers?
Oh yeah, that was a good idea. Yeah, thanks. I thought about that actually, like maybe doing another fan submission episode, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know a lot of there's like monthly fan submissions and people send us stuff all the time, and we've done a couple.
It was a lot of work though, by the way. Like Deadly Towers, it was like no joke because I got thousands of emails, and it was like I remember just filtering through those, just kind of like going through. It's like, oh my God, there's so many. And then to organize it, because you couldn't just throw in a bunch of random quotes. It had to like go in like a set order where it didn't seem like it was stitched together from all different parts of the game. It kind of had to feel like it was a real review where it talked about the game in some kind of logical progression. So it was really tough organizing all those notes. I mean, first of all, filtering them and reading through them, and then and then copy pasting the lines you want and then putting it in order of a script. Like, it was actually way harder than just writing one from scratch. But I loved that. I loved how it turned out, though.
So no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I think
yeah.
it's a possible.
That's the problem, right? We go like, no, we're not going to do that, and it's going to be like the Immortal. We're like, hey, everyone gets to put in a sentence, and it's going to be like this giant thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's usually everything I try to do like once because there's so many ideas. Like Immortal, for years I wanted to do a one-take episode, and then finally we did it. But now that's done. Now it's like, what's the next thing? Like, okay, like another thing. For years I wanted to do a multiple choice episode, like a choose your own adventure. And we haven't gotten to do that yet, but sometime we will. So it's kind of like we just have a bucket list of different ideas, you know. So I think we got time for like one more.
For the nerd, I know you have back here.
Hey,
for the nerd, I know you have an age limit for what games you cover, but has there been a modern game that's been like so bad that you want to do a nerd episode on it?
Oh yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, for a future one, and I don't know, but I know Life of Black Tiger. That was the most modern we've done recently, where it was a PS4 game, and it was that bad. Yes, it is possible, but I don't know of any others off the top of my head.
Yeah. Do you have any recommendations?
Okay,
Perfect.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad like mobile games. Like maybe it could be one of those, you know.
Yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends, and that's okay.
They like us.
Okay.
But I guess we're about to run out of time here. But it was good seeing everyone. I'm glad you guys liked the episode and came out and went to the booth, and we have. The games are set up. They're probably broken down now, I guess. But, and the new games, if you weren't here yesterday, the new AVGN games, 1+2 Deluxe, is coming out in February, end of the month, I think. It's first 2 games plus another chapter, all redone. So that's coming out. That'll be fun.
Cool.
There's a new Blu-ray at the end of the year, which is also fun. So, we'll stay tuned. There'll be some Black Friday stuff. So I guess just check the socials.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. All right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks. Yep.